Hello friends, welcome back to Typescript tutorial. In this video, we are going to discuss about functions using the Typescript. Okay, so you already know what is functions. We know JavaScript, the basic JavaScript concept, and then in the Typescript, we are not going to share what is functions and what is the purpose of that function, but how to use the functions in Typescript we will discuss in this video. Okay, so you know what are the functions. Now, let's create a functions using this Typescript. So basic functions. Okay, so how we can do this? So simply write function. This is the function. This is the keyword. Using the keyword, we can define functions. Suppose here write function greet. Okay, and here we need to say the function is like this. Means here I just going to type. I just going to define the type, the function as a string. Okay. Here simply write return hello from function. Okay. Now the functions need to call explicitly. Okay. So simply just write console dot log the function. Okay. So this is the basic type of function. So if you run this, we can see hello from functions. So here, if you write here, if you return something 1, 2, 3, 4, this is actually the problem, because we define the function return type will be the string, but actually it's number. That's the reason it's problem. So actually it's checking the type. So just you can see the error. Type number is not assignable to the type string. So in this case, if you want to return any number type of data from these functions, so simply we can write number. That time it will work. So there is no error, you can run. Okay, so you can understand how to return and what are the return types we need to define under the functions. Okay, now I need to pass some data dynamically to the functions from the outside. Okay, so here I just pass some data John. So here you need to accept this John. So here just use the type, this is the variable as a John. Hello John. How can I write this? So hello name. So use template literal concept. Hello name. Okay. But what are the types of name we need to define? Means here we are passing the string type of data. So simply we need to use the string. Now it is error free. It's working. So simply write hello John. Okay, hello pasta. Okay, so simply refresh hello pasta. But here if you write the number, the same problem happen, because we are passing the string type of data, but we are accepting the number. Okay, so that's the reason it's actually error. It will not run. Okay, so actually this is the error. Now the thing is, sometimes you don't know what will be the types. Then how you can do this? I already discussed in last video. You can say the any to here. Okay, so now it will work as a string. We can work, and as a number still you can work. Okay, so you can understand how to use that, but any is not a good practice. Specify the proper type which actually what we use. So simply write string. Okay, and here write jack. So this is a good practice to define a functions. Now if I want to pass multiple parameters, same like this, we can pass like this age, and it will be the number, and you can pass here write this. So simply write 18. Okay, we are passing data hello name, and my age is the number, not a number, actually the age. Okay, this is the variable, this is the data type. So now it's working. Hello Jack, and my age is 18. Okay, so you can understand how to declare functions and function types. And if you want to pass data to the function's argument, you need to specify the proper type of that argument also, and we can use that things. Nothing much about the JavaScript, but here we are strictly set the type, means whatever we will use, we need to set the type. Okay. So if you want to use the optional parameter, you can add in this way. So simply you can write question mark and just refresh this. It's not affecting, and if you not pass these things, still it will work as its optional parameter. Okay. So hello Jack and my age is undefined, as we are not passing anything and we are printing that thing, so it's not setting. So that's the reason it's showing undefined. Okay. So for that we can define the default parameter. Okay. So age is not optional. So if anything's not present in the age, then we can set the default parameter or default value like 30. So we are not passing any things, and that time by default it's actually getting the 30. And if you pass something, suppose 25, then you will get the output, the thing which actually passed, hello Jack and my age is 25. So how to understand how to pass the default parameter, we can understand. Okay. Another things, suppose we are returning some things. Here I just going to print from here. How can I do this? So let's simply write console dot log, and this is the close things. So it's actually showing the error. Why? So we don't need to write this. Actually we are considering from inside the functions. Okay. But the error is in the string. A function whose declared type is neither undefined, void, nor any must return a value. Actually, these functions not returning any things. This function just printing from inside the functions. Okay. So the return type, how it can be string. So here we are not returning anything. So for non-returnable things, you can write here any for the purpose, means whatever. If you don't know, if you don't need to use the TypeScript concept, then you can use any. Otherwise, don't use any. Okay. For in this case, we need to use void. Okay. So for void, actually it's not returning functions, not returning anything. Okay. Void means is it's not returning anything. Okay. Now it's actually working. So hello Jack and my age is 25. So if you don't return anything, let's use void. This is the good practice. Now let's understand the functions with more advanced things, means ECMAScript concept, means we'll use the arrow functions. So how can I do this? So let's close this for now, and I am going to create another functions with the arrow functions with TypeScript concept. Okay. So and I want to add and something. So simply let sum, and how to define the arrow functions. So I want to add some things with the value. So I need two value, that is num1 and num2. So we are using TypeScript. So we need to define the type. So here write num1 is number, and also num2 is number. Okay. And I want to return the value in the number type, because the result will be also number. So the return type specify number. Then the fat arrow or arrow, you can say whatever you can say. These arrow functions, and simply write return num1 plus num2. Okay. And let's call this function. So simply write console dot log, and here just call sum 10 20. Okay. So it will get the output as 30. Okay. So the arrow functions you can use in this way. The interesting thing I want to show you, actually we are using the ts file .ts, that is TypeScript file. So what actually compiling? Actually, if you check here inside the source, so just go here, you can see it's actually running index.js. We are using index.ts. What is index.js? Actually, index.ts is compiling in the TypeScript compiler and it's creating a file index.js. So let's see what's inside the index.js. Inside the dist, we are getting index.js. So let's open this. So here you can see the native code of these things. Means whatever we are writing in the TypeScript, actually when you run into our application, it's compiling into our native JavaScript code. Okay. Same things you can do in your JavaScript file also with the use strict. So when you use the strict, then you need to specify all the types, all the return types, and all the things you need to specify. Okay. So actually these are compiling, and actually in the browser this file is running. It's actually compiling into the index.js. Okay. So we can understand the functions, how to use the default function, optional parameter, return type, and also the arrow functions. So the last things I want to say you, the functions type as a variable, how to define. So interesting things. Okay, so before that, whatever we discussed in the functions, you mostly know that things, but you don't know how to do with the TypeScript. But here I want to show you another thing. Suppose we are doing the same things into as a variables. Okay, so simply write let sum, and here I just going to define these things: num1 number, num2 also its number, and also we are using the arrow functions. And now we are not going to write the functions body here. Okay, actually let sum equal to these things, and we are defining as a number. Now let's create a functions. So let's create a functions. I will use the variable as a functions. So simply write sum function. So here you can see this is the definition, this is the arrow functions, and you can see the sum. Now here I just going to define sum, and then you can write x y, no problem. And inside here I just going to return the number value. Okay, so the return type will be the number, so number x plus y. Okay, actual what is doing here, we are defining the sum as these things, and the return type is number, and we are doing the same things just like arrow functions. So here this is the function body, and we are accepting these things as a parameter. So we are defining this function as a variable, and we are doing the same things in this way. Now just call these things. So simply write these things and it will call this way. Okay, so now just do here 50 plus 20. Okay, 50 and 20, then it's 70. Okay, so I defined the number here, and actually it's passing here or accepting here. Okay, so that's the reason you don't need to redefine the type. Okay, so we are calling in this way the sum number functions, and actually it's working. Okay, so you can understand how to define a variable with a functions type also. So hope I covered all the things related to functions using the TypeScript. Okay, so still if you have any queries about this video, you can comment me in a below comment section. Next day we are going to discuss about some another things like arrays, tuples. So please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.